we've known it's going to happen. It's not official, but it will happen because it will. It just will. With no real good reason, the men's college basketball tournament will expand from 68 to 72 or 76 or, I don't know, 90 at some point. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News is as perplexed about this as we all are, and he joins us on the Adam Gold Show. You wrote about Charlie Baker. He should know better. He probably does, but it's not like it's his decision anyway. Your thoughts on? I mean, it's just 4 teams. If it's 72.
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't give up until the white flag is planted.
I understand.
I'm not giving up.
Okay.
No, I'm not. And also the green flag has not been planted, and by that I don't mean go. I mean money.
Right.
And there was an interesting article in Front Office Sports on Friday, in which they have obviously great sources within the broadcast community.
Sure.
In which they quoted an anonymous network official as saying they don't think that Turner or CBS is going to want to pay anything for this. And I think a unit is worth like $2 million now.
Right.
So in order for this to happen, nobody wants to get a pay cut, right? The 68 all get X, and if you divide that pie by smaller slices because you add to 72 or 76. That's not what they're looking for. They're trying to basically muscle CBS and Turner into expanding it and providing the money to cover the extra units. And it's not an exorbitant price,
right?
But it's also not worth it. And it also damages in the minds. It's like saying, okay, you've got this great show Tracker. And everybody watches. It's really interesting on CBS on Sunday night.
Okay.
You need a clown on it. You have to have a clown. Let's throw a clown in there. That's really what. And they're like, no, this product works for us. It's suspenseful. We have a great cast. We like it. It's different, and we don't want a clown. And that's kind of what they're up against here. And so. 72 or 76 does not make the tournament better,
right? In
any way. No matter how many times Seth Davis says that Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be the greatest basketball festivals in history, it's not true.
Yeah.
People don't want it, and when your public is telling you no, listen to them. Listen to what they say. They're telling you this is a terrible idea. Ask them why. Because they're not interested. They don't think it makes it better. And it also makes the regular season worse. And I say this as someone who has done the brackets now for 5 NCAA tournaments that happened and one that did not.
Right.
And I know what's on the other side of that line. Hey, we saw what happened on the inside of that line.
It's on the good
year
side of the line, too.
Attractive.
It's already on the good side of the line.
Some of that bled over into the actual tournament this year.
No question.
And when Charlie Baker said on Thursday that some of the best teams aren't getting in,
oh gosh,
it's a good thing I didn't hear that quote when I was driving a car because I don't know that I could have kept it on the road.
But I mean, they have to justify it with something. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News at TSN Mike on Blue Sky. First of all, I was not expecting a clown. In that rant, that's beautiful. That I'm a little hurt. I'm physically in pain from laughing at that. So very good. Look, Seth Davis catching a stray here was kind of out of left field, but I agree with you because I don't understand why. Because Seth has been championing this mostly from a gambling standpoint. The gamblers, I mean, they're going to find stuff to gamble on, whether it's Tuesday, Wednesday college basketball games, and it'll do a great handle, whether it's on my phone or for people who go to Vegas for an additional couple of days, because the best 2 days in, I think, in gambling are the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament, that Thursday and Friday. Vegas is a madhouse. I know several people who have gone just for those 2 days. So it'll be even more, but that ain't the reason to expand the NCAA tournament. But I just don't think it really even matters about the money. I don't think it's about more money at all. I think you and I have talked about this. I think it's the bigger conferences are mad that I don't know why they're mad. They're not getting enough teams in. The SEC clearly didn't get enough teams in this year. They wanted 18 of their 16 teams in the field because that's the only thing that's going to happen is that we're going to have more teams from the big conferences get in. This is not about expanding it for the little guy, for the mid-majors, not at all. It's about those schools, those conferences getting more teams in.
Yeah, it's not so much anger as is insecurity, and Greg Sankey was among the leaders in this. He pointed it out, I think, as early as 22 or 23. He saw it coming, and he started to get nervous about it, and he compared it to whatever year it was. I don't follow college baseball, but whatever year it was that Ole Miss won the College World Series, and he was saying, "Look, they were like the last team in, and they
right.
What if and I'm like, yeah, but college baseball and college basketball are not the same thing. It wasn't quite as tone deaf as calling Indiana one of the best teams in college basketball this year, which Charlie Baker effectively did.
Right.
But it was pretty tone deaf to compare baseball and basketball. They're not the same. I know enough about college baseball to know that they're not the same. And so that was where it began. But then, okay, now we progress to when they're actually all bigger conferences in terms of numerically. And he gets 14 out of 16, and I don't think he's so nervous anymore.
No.
But the other leagues are, and not the Big Ten. I mean, they got 8. They could have had 9 or 10, but it missed that because Ohio State and Indiana just didn't quite get there, but they easily could have. I don't think they need to be nervous. They've been the most successful in terms of getting bids of any league in this decade. So I don't think that's a concern. It's Big 12 and ACC, and the ACC it's been the decline of the quality. It's not been anything other than that. Their quality declined, and so they lost bids. And if the quality improves, they'll get them back. And it's the same for the Big 12. They were at an absolute peak in 2023, 2024. They were doing really well, and then the quality sort of fell off a little bit. Their trademark program, Kansas, has struggled in the portal era to be as effective. And maybe they get it back, maybe they don't. I don't know, but the league does not need an expansion to get the bids that they want. The league needs better basketball. Yeah,
but it's easier for them. They don't have to worry about it. And they still want to play better basketball. I have no doubt that they won't. It's not going to curb their competitive spirit. But it's always good to know that you're going to, which is, to me, the exact reason why I have this 4 automatic bids per conference. I mean, why would we even pay attention to the regular season if we end up with, out of a 16-team field, 13 automatic? We know 13 teams going, we might have some change here and there, but ultimately we know the teams. Why would we even pay attention to the regular season in football if we have 4 SEC teams, 4 Big Ten teams, and we pretty much would know the 4 Big Ten teams, pretty much the same teams all the time? I just don't understand those guarantees, especially when the SEC could end up with more than 4 more often than not.
Yeah, I don't like that plan at all. I think I do think it devalues the regular season, and I think that they need to do a little bit more market research on 2024, because I don't think I'm alone in this. I'm not a gambler. I very rarely place a wager on sports, so you don't get me that way. So how do you get me? Well, for the longest time, you only got me for teams that I had some passing interest in geographically. I lived in Ohio for 18 years, so Ohio State was something that was there, and so and my wife kind of fell for that, and so we watched them. But how did you get me in 2024? The playoff, the fascination of who was going to get in.
Yeah,
I watched Florida and Ole Miss play. I would never have watched that game in the past, ever.
Right.
With where the team, and I'm not talking about Florida and Ole Miss, I'm talking about with where the team stood at that point in the season, there would have been no incentive to ever watch it. But with the possibility of Ole Miss getting in and Florida maybe taking them out and all that. And I did the same with Georgia and Georgia Tech. Alabama and Oklahoma was on one channel, and I think it was A&M and somebody was on another, and you're flicking back and forth. And all of that was a result of the idea that any one of these teams could get eliminated from the playoff race with this loss. So let's watch. And how they don't understand that. That's why I said market research. Ask your fans. Ask not necessarily season ticket holders at Alabama, but ask the people that are making the difference to your television audience. What about 2024 was different? What would you like to see in the future? I don't think they want this automatic bid structure. Look, you have to have 5. You have to have the 4 power conferences and the P5 the G5 conference.
Yeah.
You have to have that because that makes it a legitimate championship. It's not we think these are the best teams.
Right.
These are the best teams. These are the champions, and then we're going to round it out with 11 others that we think, or 10, or whatever the number is, depending on where they settle. But that was the perfect circumstance, and they had an unbelievable playoff all the way through, and they're automatically ready to change it already. Why?
Well,
that's what I don't understand.
I like changing the seating part of it.
Yes,
right?
All for that. Yes.
I'm all about that. That winning a conference championship gets you entry. I am all about that, and then we should seed accordingly. Look, I was a 4-team playoff guy. I was happy with that. I thought, because I honestly don't believe we ever had more than 4 teams that could legitimately play for a national championship. Ohio State, who threw the last game of the season, I say that half joking, otherwise they would have easily been one of the 4 teams that would have made a 4-team playoff. They wouldn't have lost that game to Michigan had that been the case. But I was a 4-team guy. But if we're going to have it, I believe we should basically have the best teams. Conference champions plus the group of 5, yes, and then give me the next 11 best teams. Oh, and by the way, Scott Strickland, the AD at Florida, thinks because there is little data, we should get rid of the committee, which, of course, is the opposite of what should happen. But never.
Wait, what's he want to base it on then?
Exactly. Basically, I can't even explain why you would take a committee away when you have less data, because there's only 12 or 13 games. But it really made no sense.
It's not just the 12 or 13 games. It's that there is no incentive to play difficult games out of conference, which is why the data isn't any good. The data isn't any good because you don't have anything to base on. Within a conference, you can maybe have okay data. But data that goes from the Big Ten to the SEC, it doesn't mean anything because nobody from the Big Ten ever plays anybody from the SEC, ACC, et cetera. The games are so rare that you can't get meaningful data. But you can get great meaningful data from the SEC against Division I AA. There's a lot of those games.
Oh, there is. But even within the conferences, based on the differing schedules, and like SMU, I think, played basically one good team last year, maybe 2 good teams. They didn't play any of the best teams in the regular season. It's kind of hard to get, data that looks similar to the other teams. So we have major scheduling issues to deal with in college sports because of the massive size of conferences. Next time we talk, we will discuss how the ACC, in trying to improve basketball schedules, made it basically a net zero. I don't understand what the decisions they're making over there. I want to help. They have not reached out to me yet, but I'm going to call Jim and say, Jim, let me help you with your schedules because you ain't doing it right. All the meetings with Deloitte at the ACC spring meetings in Amelia Island didn't come up with anything better than that. Mike DeCourcy, next time we talk, we got to talk a little men's national team, and you and I will raise the Premier League trophy in our minds together.
Great.
All right?
Absolutely sounds great.
All right, man.
You'll never walk alone, Adam, as long as you have me around.
You got it. YNWA, Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News.